Mr. President, when did President Macron tell you he was going to invite?
I don't want to comment on that, but I knew he was coming in, and I respected the fact that he was coming in, and he met with President Macron, and Iran has got a very difficult situation. They're in a position that's not a very good position from the standpoint of economics, and that's okay, because we can clear that up very quickly. I'm looking to have a really good Iran, really strong. We're not looking for regime change. You've seen how that works over the last 20 years. That hasn't been too good. And we're looking to make Iran rich again. Let them be rich. Let's let them do well if they want, or they can be poor as can be. They can be like they are now. And I'll tell you what, I don't think it's acceptable the way they're being forced to live in Iran. And what we want is very simple. It's got to be non-nuclear. It's got to be non-nuclear. We're going to talk about ballistic missiles. We're going to talk about timing. We're going to talk about the length of the agreement, which, as you know, it expires in a very short period of time. I mean, the agreement that President Obama made expires in a very short period of time. What kind of an agreement is that? He paid $150 billion for a short-term agreement. He'd like to have $150 billion for a short term. He'll do that deal. Plus, he gave him $1.8 billion in cash. Where's your finance minister? Finance minister, which one? Please go here. Okay. Explain to him. $1.8 billion in cash. Will you take it? Egypt will take it.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me, or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.